Hi everyone, here Anirudh again, and today we are going to continue the lecture we were studying on, that is fluid mechanics. So by thanking our teachers and God's grace, let us continue our subject, what we were doing. So the next topic comes out to be pressure. Pressure in general can be defined as the force distributed on a surface area. The ratio of the force distributed on a surface area. That is, we can write it as P equals to force upon area, and the unit is Newton per mm square. In fluid mechanics, pressure can also be written as pressure for a fluid can be written as P is equals to rho g h. Rho is the density, g is the gravity, and h is the head or the distance of the liquid volume. This expression is being obtained by using hydrostatic law. Hydrostatic law of fluids. Further, there are different types of pressure measurement techniques with which we can measure pressure, that are types of pressure measuring devices. Now we can make a table for this measuring device, which is divided into two parts. One is for manometric pressure measurement, and we can also use mechanical gauges. In manometric pressure measurement, we have two terms which are simple manometric pressure measurement MPM, let's write MPM, and another one is differential pressure measurement. In mechanical gauges, the equipments used can be written as Borden pressure gauge, We can use also bellows and diaphragm. Pressure gauge. Now simple manometer can be of different types. For example, it can be a U-tube, it can be a piezometer, and it can be an inclined tube. Differential manometer can also be written as of two types: U-tube differential manometer and inverted differential manometric pressure measurement. Inverted tube, we can also add inverted tube. So this is the first board of the video. You can write it down, take a screenshot, go through it. So that we can move further in our video. What I'm teaching you, you must have to study the subject to understand these videos. Once you go through the subject, these are a type of revision notes, or you can say short notes. Now, how pressure is used to calculate the hydrostatic forces acting on a body. For example, this is a cube submerged, and we need to calculate the force over this area. So what we will do is, we will project this surface area, upper surface area, to free surface, and we will calculate this value. So the volume this area or this containment is covering will give us the value of force acting on the surface. This technique is known as pressure prism technique. Which can also be written as it is a 3D representation of variation of pressure over the surface. Second point can be written as it is used calculate the magnitude and point of application of hydrostatic forces acting over a surface. Third point can be written as magnitude will be implied by the volume of pressure prism. And one more point, fourth point, you can also mark it as an important point, which states that center of pressure always lie over center of gravity. So this is for pressure. You can write it down, take a screenshot, go through it. However you feel is better and beneficial for you, you can do it. Now we have completed some of the chapters regarding fluid mechanics. In the previous video, we studied about the parameters of the fluids, or with which we are going to learn fluid mechanics. For now, we will continue to another part of fluid mechanics, that is fluid kinematics. Fluid kinematics is a part of fluid mechanics that concerns with the study of fluid in motion. So this can be written as fluid kinematics. In simple terms or in general, we can write it as study of fluid in motion. That is, we are only considering the forces and changes which are being applied to a fluid when it is in motion. We are not considering the forces or external force which are causing the motion. with this, an equation comes into picture which is known as continuity equation of fluids, which implies A1 V1 is equals to A2 V2 is equals to A3 V3 and so on. This expression is obtained from Q is equal to area into velocity. That is, discharge can be calculated. Now, the unit of this can also be calculated as meter cube per second. Now, there are different types of flow which can be observed in kinematics. Types of flows which can be written as uniform flow, non-uniform flow, steady flow, unsteady flow, laminar or streamlined flow, turbulent flow, rotational flow. Another one is irrotational flow. One is compressible flow, which can be compressed. Incompressible flow, which cannot be compressed. These you can study when you subject, when you are learning the subject, or you can go through the definitions of these. Further, 1D flow, 2D flow, and 3D flow. Now you can go through it, take a screenshot, however you feel right. These are different types of flows which are used in study of kinematics. Let us move to the next board. and doing right hand too much is going to be. Now with different types of flows, we can write how a particle will move in different types of states or circumstances, we can say. A particle will form three types of motions or lines, we can say. One is known as streamline flow or streamline. Second one is path line, and third one is straight line, which can also be interpreted as streamline. Streamline. In this type of flow, the velocity vector, that is, for example, let us say this is a pipe and some fluid is moving like this. In this flow, the velocity vector v vector is always tangent to the streamline. This type of flow is known as a streamline flow. This flow will not be crossed. The path of this line will not be crossed. Second comes path line. In path line, we trace the position of a particle through time. For example, in the first state, the particle was here. In second one, it was here. In third, it was here. In fourth, it was here. In fifth, it was here. And then it was here, and moving on. So path line will be formed when we trace these different points in space according to time. For example, like this: 1, 2, 3. Path line can also intersect. Path line can intersect also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then comes straight lines. Straight lines are formed in two different patterns. Straight lines can be written as a path line and second equipotential lines. By converging these two types of lines, that is path line and streamline, we can generate a flow net, which can also be seen in the figure. That is path line this cross section of path line and streamline is known as a flow net. Okay. Now you can write it down, go through it, take a screenshot, whatever you feel like. Okay. Now let us move towards the generalized continuity equation, which is generalized continuity equation, which can be written as m dot in minus m dot out is equals to m dot Cv. Now we have to calculate the difference of mass in the system and going out of the system. This term can be expressed or interpreted by the parameters we are given in the question. Now this can also be written as, after calculating, d rho by dt plus rho into divergence of v vector, which is equal to 0. Now from this equation we can express the state of divergence of v vector in two conditions, that is for incompressible or irrotational flow, which can be written as del dot v vector is equal to divergence of v vector, which is equal to 0 for incompressible flows. For incompressible flow. Similarly, we can write it as del cross v vector, which is equals to curl of v vector, which is equal to 0 again, and this is for irrotational flow. For irrotational flow. Now acceleration of fluid particle can also be studied. Next is acceleration of a fluid particle. Any particle in the fluid can have 4 types of acceleration, which are local normal acceleration, other local convective acceleration and tangential convective acceleration. There are generally of two types, normal and tangential. One can be local and another can be convective. Convective normal acceleration, convective tangential acceleration. I can go through it, take a screenshot, read out the board. What I am teaching you is the crisp of fluid kinematics. Okay, let us move on to the next board. Now we are going to study kinematics of a fluid element. For example, let us take a fluid, and in that fluid some elements are being transformed, changed, moving. They can be moving in translation motion, they can be rotating. Okay. Next topic is kinematics of fluid elements. Now fluid elements can move or can have a translation motion, rotational motion, that is first one is translation. In translation, a fluid particle, for example, let us consider this as a fluid particle. This will move towards this. This is 1 and this is 2. U in XY plane. XY. This is known as translation motion of a fluid element. Second one implies rotation, which can be termed as an object or element, only element, not an object, which in space rotates like this about this point. Now there are two types of rate of deformation for a fluid element. Rate of deformation of a fluid element. It can be linear rate of deformation, or it can be an angular rate of deformation. Linear rate of deformation, linear ROD, can be observed as, let us say this is the figure, and this deformation of a fluid element, this type of deformation of a fluid element is known as linear deformation. Angular deformation, angular rate of deformation, that is a fluid particle with this figure is changed into this. This type of deformation is known as angular deformation. As you can see, all of the angles of the box have been changed. Now you can go through it, take a screenshot, do whatever you want to do. Okay. Let us move towards the final parameters of kinematics of fluid, which can be observed as I think you must enjoy a class. Okay. Two parameters which are being studied are phi and psi. Phi and psi are the two functions required for the study of kinematics, which can be defined as phi, a mathematical function, which considers the velocities in three directions, which are u, v and w. Okay. Psi is a streamline function. Line function. Okay. The parameters over these can also be written as let me write it. Del square phi is equal to 0 when continuity is satisfied. Not equal to 0 when continuity is not satisfied. Okay. Psi. What about psi? Psi can be written as del square psi is equal to 0 for rotational flow. Okay. Now what can be observed from these terms? Let us tell you what are streamlines and equipotential lines. Streamlines and equipotential lines. lines along which psi is constant are known as streamlines, and lines along which phi is constant are known as equipotential lines. Joining these lines can also generate a flow net. For example, this is psi and this is phi, and this is known as flow net. Okay, liquid in motion. The equation of liquid in motion can be written as in terms of energy or head. In terms of energy, it can be written as E is equals to kinetic energy of the fluid plus potential energy of the fluid plus pressure energy of the fluid. In terms of head, it can be written as H is equals to kinetic head of the fluid plus potential head of the fluid and pressure head of the fluid. Now you can go through it, take a screenshot, read it out however you want to learn. So this is the chapter regarding fluid kinematics and pressure values. So for today we are done. Now we will meet up with you in the next video. You can find this on my channel. Thank you.